How's it going? Right then. Dexter here. I'm going to talk to you today about where to fill. People tend to ask me, where do I do a fill? Is there an appropriate place in a song where it's like, I'm grooving right now and I'm filling right now? But there's... Basically, it's based on more general guidelines than that. So it's not, you must fill here before a chorus, or, you get into the end of the chorus, you need to do this kind of fill to go into a bridge. There's no rules. It's all guidelines. So what we're trying to do is I'm going to kind of put out some guidelines to show you guys where you can do fills. But again, none of this is written in stone, but it's a general kind of, okay, this part of the song, this is where a fill's going to go. I'm going to talk a bit about kind of bars and counting, and just give you an idea of generally where you need to put this stuff. What we're not going to talk about much is music theory. I'm not going to go into that a lot today. Again, I've got lessons on that if you're interested, but generally it's just going to be where am I grooving, where am I filling for the kind of improvising drummers out there. So that's generally where this is going to go. So let's think about it like this. I tend to get two types of students. Those that are just like, yeah, I can just feel the music. It's like, now feels like a good time to fill, and that's fine. But for other people, it's like, I don't want to feel it. I want to be able to count. I'm doing, 16 and a half bars, and then I'm doing a fill that's going to last 3 beats long or something like that. They want that kind of structure to it, so that they know they're doing it correctly. So I'm going to talk about both those kind of things today, again, just to give you an idea. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do a little bit of scribbling just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. So I have here a stave, which is where we write our music. I'm just going to write down at the start a couple of lines and a couple of repeats. So these 2 lines and 2 dots, they tell us we're going to repeat. And we're going to have 2 bars. So that bar line in the middle tells us we have 2 bars going on just here. So we have bar 1 and we have bar 2. Now each bar obviously adds up to 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we're counting, we want to always know where the pulse is. So if I'm playing a groove here like this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Easiest way to find it is the snare is usually on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just identifying where those beats are. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 1 bar. So 1 bar of music. So generally, the easiest way to try and practice this stuff is to go. I've lost my pencil. Where'd it go? It's disappeared. There we go. So, but it's. See how polished these videos are? It's great. But the first bar, we're going to have 1 bar of groove. So we're just going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you're going to do 1 bar of fill. And again, it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. So pencil there so I know where it is. But so we have, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're not talking about which groove. Just do a groove that you like the sound of. And then for the fill, 4 beats long. So you can start with 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if it's an uber technical fill, you just want to be aware that it's lasting for 4 beats. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 beats long. So again, doesn't matter how technical it is, as long as you've got that amount of time. That's what you need to, even if you're like, I don't want to get interested in music theory, you still need to know how long your fills and grooves are going to last so that you know where to put them. So that's the first thing And so that's the first thing to practice, and try and practice that. Going for a groove, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Groove, 2, 3, 4, fill, 2, 3, 4, groove, 2, 3, 4, fill, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and just be aware of where those beats are happening. So that's the first thing that you can try. So that's a good way of thinking about that, and you've got even amount of groove with even amount of fill. The next thing that we can do is we can think of it like this. You could then have a full bar of groove, 4 beats, and then you could do half a bar of groove, and then half a bar of fill. So you can see our fill is going to be dropping in for beats 3 and 4 of this second bar here. So you could go grooving for, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then you've got 3 and 4 to do a fill. So it's a shorter fill, but again, it doesn't mean it's only got to be 2 notes long, it's 2 beats long. So 2 notes would be 3, 4. But you could go 3 and 4 and. You can split that up. Or you could go 3E and a, 4E and a. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to start your fill on beat 3 of the second bar. So you can see it's just this awareness of how long you're playing for. That's the main thing with fills, and when they're going to jump back in. So let me give you an example of where this can go really, really wrong. So that's where it's tricky. Let me just clear all that. So it's all gone. I'm going to do this. So we're going to go for, let's go for 1 bar. I'll tell you what, let's go for, I'll tell you, here's where people go wrong. So I tend to see this kind of thing a lot. So you've got your 2 bars. you'll have 1 bar of groove, and you might have a groove that lasts for an entire bar, so 4 beats. So say you're playing this kind of groove, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 4 beats just there. But then people tend to go for a short fill that would last for 2 beats. So the groove's lasting for 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll have a fill that's only lasting for 2 beats. And then they try and play that 4-beat groove again, which is going 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see it kind of gets messy because they're going over the bar line and everything doesn't fit. All of a sudden you've got a groove that's lasting for 4 beats and a fill that's lasting for 2. And that's where everything falls apart. You want it to try and add up to these 4s if you're playing in this common time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see if you weren't counting along, that wouldn't sound wrong. In fact, I'm going to play that just over, and you hear it doesn't sound directly incorrect, but when you're playing with a band or with a song, that's where it sounds wrong. And this is why people do fills, and it feels awkward, and they think, oh, I've done something wrong. And it's usually because of this kind of scenario. So they're going, so I'm not going to count now, and you'll hear it won't sound too bad. So directly there, that doesn't sound too bad. But in terms of bars, we want everything to add up to 4. That's where you get into the issue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, it's kind of, where does it start, where does it end? So the general thing is, just be aware of this 1, 2, 3, 4. And to start with, always start your grooves on beat 1. And then if you're going to go for a shorter fill, you want it to be that it's not going to kind of overlap over the bar line. You can do that stuff, but that comes from, again, this awareness of what beat you're on. So again, trying to do that groove for a bar, and then maybe half a bar of groove, half a bar of fill if you want a shorter one. Another thing you can do, which sounds pretty cool, is if you go for a groove for a full bar, 4 beats, and then you go for a groove for 3 beats of the next bar, and then on beat 4, you're going to do a fill. So you could think of it this way. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then on beat 4, that's where you're going to do your fill. So you can have an even shorter fill right at the end here. So this would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you can think of it that way. So you've got like a really short fill now. So these are the places. So the way I try and think of it is like this fill zone at the, so say you're taking 2 bars or 4 bars or 16 bars, right at the end of it. That's where I like to put a fill. And again, if it's only 1 beat long, I chop off beat 4 of the groove, and that's where the fill will go. Or if 2 beats, it would be 3 and 4. And again, you're just kind of eating into this fill zone. You could think of it. If say you only had a groove on beat 1, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You could think of it that way. So that's the way I'm kind of thinking in my head when I'm doing fills anyway. And of course, it doesn't need to be every other bar. So it's, you can have a long string. You could have 3 bars of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So I did 3 bars of groove just there. And then in the 4th bar, I did 3 beats of groove, and I did a fill on the 4th beat. So it's just being aware of what's going on. The thing that really helps is counting in your head. 1, 2. Or again, the other thing you could do is try and play along with a metronome. So if I had a metronome just here, kind of clicking away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So there we go. Anyway, a couple of exercises. Just go through them. Try and do 1 bar of groove, 1 bar of a full fill. Just keep on going. It's just aware of how long you're going for. Improvising can be tricky. And then you could do like 1 bar of groove, half a bar of groove, and then a fill for 2 beats. And then you can make it even more. You could do, 1 bar of groove, so 4 beats, and then you could do 3 beats of groove. And then that 4th beat of the bar, you could do as a fill. So you can see it's just different lengths of fill and how to add them together. And just watch out for coming out with uneven numbers, like grooving for 5 beats and then doing a fill for like 3 beats. That would work. Anyway, but you get the picture. So, but generally, you're trying to make it add up to groups of 4s and 8s and 16 to give you these complete measures. Now, all of that, like I say, it's just a generalized thing for common time, pop music, rock music. You know, there are styles of music that put in purposefully, you know, bars of 3, you know, or 7, stuff like that. And that can sound amazing, but it comes with this massive awareness of rhythm and how it works. So again, if you're getting more into this, it's your rhythmic awareness, understanding this little bit of theory on timing and how bars work. That's going to really help you to plan your fills and just know what's going on. But when I'm playing in a band, this is the general stuff I'm thinking about. Okay, I've done a groove for this long. I'll do a fill of this long. But like I say, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, I've been fine without knowing this up to now, you know, and that's because you're feeling it, okay? And that's fine. A lot of people can just kind of sense, okay, I'm going for a fill. Now is the time to finish the fill. And you just get a sense of that. You don't have to count, and that's okay. But not everyone's like that. Some people like to have this counting method and know where they are. And eventually that then leads them into just being able to just feel it and kind of know where it's coming from. But it comes from this understanding of this rhythm. Anyway, bit of an explanation there. I hope that helps. I'm just going to finish with a short solo now, just demonstrating a couple of these things. And again, I'm going to count out loud how long I'm doing these for. So I'm going to go for a bar groove and a bar fill. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1 bar and 1 bar. Now I'm going to go for 1.5 bars of groove and half a bar of fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on. So now I'm going to go for a full bar of groove and then 3 beats of a bar grooving, and then the 4th beat, just that last 4th beat, is where the fill's going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Get the picture. So, just because it's a short space of time to put the fill in, you can squeeze more notes in there if you want to. So, anyway, I hope that's all made sense, guys. Bit of a demonstration, understanding. People have asked me this question quite a bit, and I've been thinking, how can I kind of teach this? So, hope it's given you a bit more of an understanding as to where to put your fills. In terms of verses and choruses and stuff like that, again, that's why at the end of a phrase, it works really well, just before you go into another section of a song. And again, doesn't necessarily mean you need to do fills every single time as well. You know, sometimes the fills can disrupt the music. If there's a guitar solo happening, you know, you don't want to be going crazy because you're distracting away from the guitarist. Or maybe you should, if you don't like the guitarist, go crazy, because then people look at you and not the guitarist, and then you get kicked out of the band, and you can find another band. I'll leave that to you. Anyway, hope that's all made sense, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you soon.